This is my 1986 Ford F250. I'll be going over, I guess, what I did to it. I bought it for $500 as a two-wheel drive with a 6.9 diesel C6 auto. It was a ranch truck, and I guess they just used it for light work because it's straight as an arrow. They didn't load it up or hammer on it. There's also fifth wheel rails in the bed, so at some point it hauled a fifth wheel. The guy I bought it from bought it in the 90s and drove it and parked it about, I think it was 2018 or something, because he thought the tranny was bad, but it actually just ran out of fluid. So I put fluid in it, drove it for about 3,000 miles until the tranny actually did start slipping bad enough to where I couldn't drive it. So then I decided it was time to 4x4 swap it. So I got an 86 F250 frame, this 86 Dana 60 Kingpin front end, 410 gears, 410 rear, and spent a couple weeks stripping everything and repainting everything. And then I bought a 4-inch lift for it, so it's on a 4-inch lift, and I Zf5 swapped it with a Borg & Warner 1356. So it looks like freaking factory. It's awesome. Except factory transfer case would mount up here, and I really wanted it to mount on the side so I could still have my cup holders here. So it looks freaking factory. You'd have no idea. This truck is factory AC, factory tack, cruise control. I don't know what other options it would have, but oh, it has a cargo light. Anyway, so when I bought it, the roof paint was all peely up. It didn't have the visor on it, and her hood roof was peely, didn't have a visor, and the roof was all peely. So I repainted that when it was two-wheel drive, and it looked way better. It came with this transfer tank in the back, and these two tanks on the side, and the Grandpa Kenco steps. And I just wanted to leave it like a factory truck. It just looks like a factory 1-ton. It's on 35s. It's not perfect. Tailgate's hammered. This door is hammered, but I'm gonna have it straightened out. Anyway, I used the factory 6.9, and it just was lacking in power. So I spent 2 weeks, or I built it this summer, and then I spent 2 weeks swapping in a 7.3, like a week ago, 7.3Turbo out of a 93. So there it is. Looks like a factory truck. I had to lift the cab to get the turbo piping in and all that garbage, but I wired everything, so with the turn of a key, everything functions as it should. It has tons of power. That's a plus. I use the 93 air intake because apparently this is a really concentrated spot for air on the truck. So other than that, everything looks freaking factory. I used a 6.9 harness, engine wire harness, and adapted it to work with the glow plugs. And I put bullet connectors on where the spades used to be. My power for glow plugs is routed to where the power for the old glow plug controller was. I had to extend my oil pressure switch and sender wire, and put a 6.9 sender on there so it works with my gauges. It has a 3-inch down pipe and 4-inch straight pipe. That all came off the 93. So I had to shorten the exhaust because it was an extended cab. Anyway, so it's 3-inch until right there, and then 4-inch all the way back. I used the factory hanger locations. There's the Zf5. I resealed the transfer case. Here's my shocks. I'm running Bilstein, what are they, 5100s? Stainless brake lines. I don't know really what else to say about it, except I guess I'll fire it up. first Zf5 I used was shot. Reverse gear was terrible, so I swapped this other 7.3 Zf5 in when I did the turbo swap, and now it's way better, but still reverse is kind of funny sometimes, but it doesn't grind or anything. It's just sometimes you got to kind of hang on it to get it to fully go in, but I'll take that over how it used to be any day. I just really like this truck, how it's like completely gramped out. And it rides freaking nice too for being on a 4-inch lift. These shocks are great. The lift springs were used that I bought. I'm running 4-inch up front and 2-inch lift in the rear, so it sits level. It's actually not very squatted when I haul things. It doesn't look bad. So. Anyway, I really enjoy it. And it runs on anything. That's the other plus. The lift pump's going out on it, so when I'm up in the RPM, it kind of scavenges and tries to die and stuff. So I have a new lift pump coming, and I'm also going to wire in down there. You can see my wires for boost gauge and EGT gauge, but I'm going to order up a different one rather than using the one that the guy was running on the 93. This truck has 178,000 miles on it. The motor I use has 206 on it. Also, bullnose, this is a bullnose. They have their own 83 through 86 is their own pedal assembly, and 87 through 91 is a different pedal assembly. However, you can very easily adapt the 87 to 91 pedal assembly to work in a bullnose. That's what I did because I haven't been able to find the proper one yet. But yeah, you can really easily adapt it. So don't listen to what people say on the internet. Everybody said it wouldn't work, but I had no choice but to make it work, and it ended up being super easy. So yeah, that's what I do. And just to give you an idea, I've done so many motor swaps on these trucks. It takes me 1 hour and 20 minutes was my record so far on this truck to get the motor out, and then 6 hours to get the other motor in and the truck running and driving. That's my record. But this motor swap took 9 days, also because I had replaced the tranny. But just because all the wiring and stuff and adapting it to work with this truck, and I still have to figure out my AC and my gauges and all that other stuff, but at least it's running and driving. It's kind of nice. The radio's nice. Still had the print for the eject button on the cassette player, but I use the cassette player all the time, so that wore down. Anyway, pretty sweet. I also need to rebuild the front end, straighten out the steering wheel because it's off, but it's just a low priority. And I need to replace the column. This is a manual tilt column. I want to put just a normal manual non-tilt column in it because this one's freaking loose. Unless I can find a nice tilt column, but the odds of that are rare. I thought this one was tight. I pulled it out of another truck, but it definitely isn't. And it squeaks. It's really annoying. But I'd say in another year, this truck will be really, really dialed in.